just stopped giving us was we thought was for us.
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action wasn't for us. Affirmative action is something we're supposed to be getting as indigenous people anyway. If we start enforcing our treaties, these people are doing business on our land, and we're not enforcing nothing.
And we should be getting welfare.
Yeah, welfare is something that our women are supposed to be getting. Social Security, anything they're doing for themselves, they're supposed to be doing it for us. Now, if you go to Article 21 of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, which is the supreme law of the land, and George Bush knows it, because if that treaty was not signed, he couldn't be doing what he's doing now. None of those white people, all those white people that sat in office, they sat in office because of that treaty they got from our ancestors. And they are lying to us every day. And all the things we did for them, they brought our worst enemies over here to mistreat us in our neighborhood. Yes, they did.
And our enemies are doing a great job of mistreating.
And behind closed doors, they admit to it that you got a treaty. Yeah, but my ancestors conquered you. You know, with the treaty. You know, that ain't standing now. You know, well, I'm telling you. But when you see one of our people on the street and you're trying to tell him about the treaty, you see him in court, you're trying to tell him about his standing in law, he's so messed up. See, our people, only thing they want to argue about is religion. We spend majority of our time arguing about the three religions. We never talk about law. We don't know anything about law. So, you know, we got to start talking about law.
Brother Corwin and caller, we get right to you. Brother Corwin, what do you have to say about all this?
Oh, boy.
And hold on a minute, caller. We can ready to take calls. All the lines is open for you.
Well, like you said about affirmative action. Now, as you saw, when affirmative action came on the scene and they were talking about no on proposal 2 and yes on proposal 2, you saw the European woman jump up real bad and say, vote no. Now, the person who needed affirmative action finally came to the front and jumped out for it. Now, for the Negro who wants affirmative action, you ask any Negro on the street what it is, they can't tell you. You ask them what's civil rights, they can't tell you. But I want me some affirmative action. I want me some civil rights. Yes, sir, boss. They'll tell you that in a minute. So, you know, our people have to educate themselves because all through their life they're dealing with law. From high school on through, and some before even high school. You get the driver's license, contract, right? Buy a house, get a car, get a marriage license. You do all this paperwork, and you're doing law. As soon as you don't uphold your side of the bargain, all of a sudden, some European want to come sue you. Now you in court.
Or put you in jail.
Put you in jail, too. Yeah, they love to do that. Trust me, I know. And then they want to sue you. Now you in a courtroom of law, and you done learned from a Noah Webster dictionary all your life, a slave dictionary, a plantation owner who taught his slaves how to speak the language of slavery. Now you going to go in a courtroom, and they speaking law, a whole nother language. And you in there talking like Toby. Yes, sir, boss. No, sir, boss. Boy, just say your name for the record. You say your name for the record. Well, don't worry. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to do the rest of the talking. Then there's corporate officer who's paid for by the judge because the boy ain't got no money to pay. So the judge paying him. Now, I'm going to pay you to defend him. Now, you get over there and you defend Toby. And you tell Toby to say his name on the record. And then Toby don't say nothing else. And we going to work this deal out. We going to make some money from Toby. Right? And the Negro just standing there. Yes, sir, boss. Know nothing about law, know nothing about those words. Get up there, they adjudicate over. Two things going to happen to you. One of the two. Either you going to jail, you're going to pay a fine, or you're going to do both. Have you ever seen someone say they was innocent and walked out that courtroom? No, they either paying a fine, or they going to jail, or doing both of them. The Negro don't want to know law, don't want to learn law. You got John King Bookstore downtown, 4th floor, Black Law Dictionary. They keep them there. And I hope they got the place stocked, because I call down there all the time. People need to go down there and get that law dictionary. You need to learn them words. You need to learn the U.S. Code. You need to learn your history. When you go in the courtroom, the first thing you should say to the de facto judge sitting behind the bench is, 46th District, is Stephen C. Cooper, you crazy? Because you ain't got a license to practice law in the Michigan Republic. You're a de facto judge. You don't have a current oath of office on the record. You in here practicing law without a license. So you got to be crazy, Stephen C. Cooper. And I'm saying his name because I still have a case pending with him now. See, all this stuff that I'm telling you right now, I say it to his face. And you can call the 46th District tomorrow, and you ask, do Corwin Edwards have a case? And they'll tell you yes. But he can't bring it back because I adjourned it on him. And he's guilty of Title 18, Section 1651, which is piracy. Piracy, you go to prison for life. Him and Don King, that prosecutor, that house Negro, that burner, look up the word burner in the law dictionary, they both guilty. That's why that case hasn't been brought back. They don't want to see me out in Southfield. Now, and that's I got the case number. I got a transcript of the case. When you come by the dojo, I'm going to issue that out. Y'all can see where Wanda Frost, who was a court reporter, signed off on it. And I'll give you a copy. You can read it, and it kind of gives you a basic of what you need to talk about in the courtroom. Because when you go in the courtroom, the only thing you talk about is license, delegation of authority order. First of all, if you're selling liquor, they say you got to have a liquor license. If you're driving, they say you got to have a driver's license. To own this boot, you got to have a license. You got to have a food handler license. Where they licensed? That's all I talk about. But they want to look at me about guns, prostitution, drugs, any of that other stuff. We ain't talking about that. Stephen C. Cooper, with your crazy, dumb self, where is your license to practice law in the Michigan Republic? He said this wasn't a republic. He said it was the state of Michigan. I told that clown, I said, you guilty of treason. Article 4 of the Constitution. And it's on the record. But you go out there and you can talk to Stephen C. Cooper, but he's stepping off the bench, and this is the reason why he's stepping off the bench. Because I reported also to the judicial tenor, but as a Moor, anytime you report and do anything on this land, because like Brother Bobby Eel was telling you about those 2 seals on the back of that dollar bill, your government, your law enforcement, your court is the world court. You have to tell them about what's going on. You can go down to the judicial tenor, you can go to the Justice Department, but you got to tell the world court, because they monitor and make sure that these clowns over here do what they're supposed to do. If you don't, you wasting your time. You like the mouse running to the cat, saying, give me justice. That cat gonna knock you around and eat you. But when you tell that big dog on that pyramid side what's going on, oh, now they got to do something. So, if you got the internet, if you done filed your paperwork, I tell everybody, it's 2 courts. You got the International Criminal Court, and then it's another one. But you look for both of them, and you get their email address, and do them like a friendly email. Tell them your name with your title. Tell them your file number. Now they got your file number. They can pull you up on the internet. That's one of the reasons how they do business. Oh, we see your $100 billion security agreement. That's why they don't mess with you. When you go in the courtroom and you start talking to them, because Moors have $100 billion security agreement. That's why they don't really want to touch us. And
all right,
let them know.
Let's take some calls. Hotel caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What kind of mess is this you got on?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that mess up there. That stupid shit they up there talking about. You ain't got nothing else that you can bring on.
Why would you say that, ma'am?
You don't have anything else that you can bring on? Because what they talking, I bet you they get down in court, get to talking that silly crap, they put them in the mental hospital.
I choose to bring the Moors on, man.
Oh, that was your idea?
Yeah.
Oh, you paying for that when you good. You should pay for something else of more value, something else for to help the people more.
I believe that the Moors are helping people. All right, thank you for your call. I'm sorry.
Need to get that mess off the damn ass.
Hotel caller.
Hello?
Yes, can you speak up?
Yeah, I just want to say, I agree with the brothers wholeheartedly, because I've too been studying, but I do know this, that you can't tell these people this type of information without preparing them for what's going to happen in trying to do this. As long as you're a U.S. citizen, they don't have to recognize nothing you send. They don't even have to recognize you being Moors until you are a Moor. And I'm quite sure you know that to make this happen, you must have your own government established. Now, do you two have your own government established? Do you have your own currency? Do you have your UN declaration papers? And do you have a seat in the World Indigenous People, in the Indigenous People Conference? Without these things, they don't have to recognize you. You're going to keep getting pulled over. You're going to keep getting bugged down because you are not recognized as a citizen. As a citizen, you are a slave. So in their eyes, you are rebelling against them, against the master. And like the lady said, it will sound like gibberish to them, because to them, who are you trying to confront? You are owned by us. So until we do it the right way, as the noble Drew Ali said, the Moors here will be met with